Oh yeah.
Hello, Metro Augusta. Hello, Georgia, and hello, wherever you are. This is Janice Allen Jackson welcoming you to the August 14th edition of Local Matters, a show designed to make you a more confident voter and a more engaged citizen. As always, today's show is brought to you as a service of my management consulting firm, and that is Janice Allen Jackson and Associates, where we provide services to local government and nonprofit organizations. Please check our website at janiceallenjackson.weebly, that's WEEBLY.com, to learn more about me and the services provided by the firm. If you have not already, we encourage you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, we also ask you to follow us on Facebook if you are on that platform. When you follow and subscribe, you get notification when we post new episodes and other information to help you on your journey to becoming a more engaged citizen. And there's the added bonus of letting us know that you support our efforts. If you missed our episode last week, please go to YouTube, Spotify, or Soundcloud, Apple Podcast to catch that episode. We tackle the ever important topic of affordable housing here in the CSRA, but we also discussed it in a context that I think would be useful to anybody throughout the state of Georgia or this country in terms of getting a better handle on why housing has become so expensive and what sorts of things are in place in order to help people still get housing, be that rental, homes for purchase, or rehab of your existing housing. Our guest for that episode was Hawthorne Welcher Jr., who is Director of Housing and Community Development for the city of Augusta, Georgia. However, as I indicated, I think anybody will find this conversation to be very helpful if you want to get a better understanding of those issues. There's something else that I would invite you to also listen to. It is on my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook page. And that is a podcast interview that I did recently. I was speaking to Tanya McKenzie, who hosts the Leaders and Learners podcast. She is based in Los Angeles, California, and we had a wonderful discussion about why these local issues are so important, how it is that we can better educate ourselves in order to be prepared to vote, the core reason that local matters exist. And we also talked about some other things that are key in terms of my consulting work related to emotional intelligence and how it is that we can truly become better leaders and learners. Today, our episode is a little bit different, and I won't spoil the fun. You just keep listening so that you can participate and listen to a fun conversation with myself and a local personality here in the Augusta area. For Matters family, today we are joined by Mr. Dallas Frazier. He is a local media personality. I think he may be better known by another name, but I'll let him explain that to you. How are you doing today, Mr. Frazier?
I'm great, Janice. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, wonderful. Glad we were able to get together for this.
Yes.
Local Matters family, we know that there are different types of shows. Most of my shows are focused on government services or politics or community issues. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. I want you to think about this more like we do when we do our author talk episodes. In this particular case, we have someone who is a different type of artist. I'm going to consider it art because he has been a DJ in the Augusta area, and he's going to talk to us about some changes in that business that have resulted in changes in the way that we receive news, information, media, entertainment, et cetera, et cetera. So, welcome to the show here on Local Matters. Anytime someone is a first time guest, we say welcome to the family. So, you're now part of our Local Matters family.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Tell us who you are. Tell us what name you are best known by and how you got into the business of being a DJ.
Yes. My name is Dallas Frazier. I'm originally from Queens, New York, but I go by Tony D. I was the music director for Shout 94.7 WAW, as well as the afternoon drive host for some time. Also, the home of the syndicated radio show, The New Artist Profile, which I've been doing for 21 years in August. Um, and man, I tell you, this kind of happenstance was able to become a part of the 94.7 team many years ago as an intern. And it kind of just branched and blossomed out from there. Radio is my passion, even though I didn't go to school for radio. God just gifted me to be able to use my gift of running my mouth and my love of gospel music to mesh the two together and, have a great time on radio for over 22 years.
Now, you said you didn't go to school for radio. So, how does one get in? Because I've never known, like, how does that happen?
So I used to DJ for years since I was a child. I DJed in the club, so I was used to talking and running my mouth and putting words together to get the club hype, get the people hype. Um, but I was able to intern just by hearing one of the radio personalities, the late Larry Adamson, in the barbershop. I heard his voice, and I was like, that sounds like Larry from, at the time it was Rejoice 94.7. And I just asked him, hey, I want to be on the radio. And is there a way for me to intern with you? And I did. So if anybody would like to possibly get into media, radio media, internships are the best. I didn't get paid for it. I did a lot of getting donuts, getting coffee, making copies. But I also was in the room able to see how he operated his morning show, how he programmed music, the production side of radio, making commercials. So I learned a lot. And then opportunities came for me to fill in as an on-air personality and then eventually have my own show. So internship is very, very important, young people. Very important. And adults as well.
Did you work for free before you got the opportunity to do some things for pay?
Yes, I did. I worked for free.
I said, how long? How long did you have to work for free
Oh, I
before
worked for free. I was an intern, I would say about almost a year. Almost a
a
year.
year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you were doing other things to make money. How many hours were you spending in the station for
Um,
free?
I was with him doing the morning show, so he was on from 6 to 9, and then we did production. So I would say in the week, maybe about 20 hours a week, because I did have a full-time job. I'm actually a licensed optician. I make glasses for a living. That's what I went to school for. But I was moonlighting in radio and still DJing as well. So I would say about 20 hours a week, but I was always honing my craft as being an on-air personality. I would make, I'm dating myself, but I would make CDs of my gospel mixes and I would talk on it like I was on the radio and everybody thought I actually was on the radio. So I used to get in trouble for talking too much in school. So now, it's a part of what I do for my living.
Okay, that is cool. So I just want people to understand the context. There's something that you wanted to do. You work for free 20 hours a week for about a year to learn the business, and then the opportunity came for you to get on air and make a living. Okay.
Yep.
And in the meantime, you were having to hustle somewhere else because you had to have money.
Oh yeah.
So
Bills had to
this
be
was
paid.
a so you had to put forth some degree of sacrifice that sometimes I think people aren't fully aware of when they start thinking about you want to do something. They be like, you work for free for a year and 20 hours, they start thinking 20 hours a week. And think about it. You could be making money that 20 hours a week. So yeah. I just wanted to make sure that you got that out so people understood how you had to go about that. So you wound up in the Augusta area. How long have you been here now?
I've been here since 1997, so I've been here for a while. So I consider myself an Augustinite or Aikenite,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it, from the
Mhm.
Cedar area.
When you started the volunteer work, was that when you were in New York or was that here in our area?
Here, my first time on the
Okay.
radio was at WAW. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. All right. Very good. And do you still make glasses?
No, no, I don't. I completely left that. It was a great career. I worked at several different optical chains, but I'm following my passion now, and so I love what I do.
And as you think about what you do, as we were preparing for this episode, I talked some about the changing face of media. I mean, it's just completely different from what it used to be. You mentioned the CDs, of course, all that's disappeared. Everything is streaming. You know, you had traditional radio stations, of which, I'm on one, I'm on WKZK now. But you've got traditional radio stations, but there's so many other ways that people can hear good music and get news and information. Of course, YouTube, obviously, podcasting. The difference with those types of platforms is it's like you listen to a radio show, but you can listen to it anytime you get ready. It used to be if you want to listen to somebody's show, if it came on at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night, you had to be in place 8 o'clock Wednesday night to listen. But now with a podcast, it's a radio show you can listen to anytime you get ready. If you want to listen to it at 3 o'clock in the morning, at midnight, and anytime, it doesn't matter. It is available on demand. You can get it the way that you want to get it. And I think that's one of the things that is so appealing about that. And it seems like radio sort of headed in the same direction. Is that right?
I would say it is. I would say it is. First, let me say I do miss the anticipation of waiting for your favorite show or whether it be television or radio show to come on at that particular time because it built up the anticipation and it built up your follower base. But yes, streaming radio and podcasting has really taken notoriety to a whole nother different level. And the availability of watching what you want to watch is 24 hours, 7 days a week. And you can watch an episode 50 times if it was one of your favorites. So it has its good and bad points. But as technology improves, that's the way things are going now. And so I think podcasting is great. Video podcasting as well as broadcast podcasting is really good, and I'm actually moving into that area as well. And I see you doing a great job with it yourself. So yeah, man, that's the way. If you want to stay relevant, you have to move with the changing times.
We really do have to move with the times, particularly if you want to capitalize on a younger audience, because they're going to do whatever's, current.
Right.
I know one day this few years ago, one of the local radio stations, I think it was Perry Broadcasting, and of course they're located over in North Augusta too. But I went over there because they were taping Black History moment sort of things, and I was asked to do one of the Black History moments. I went in to record, and my teenage daughter happened to be with me that day because she was shadowing me for a school project. So first thing in the morning, I go into the radio station. I do my take on whatever Black History figure it was. I'm sorry, I can't even remember who it was that they had me talking about. But my daughter was there, and the DJ asked her, "Well, what station do you listen to?" And she's like, "Radio station? I don't listen to any radio station."
Right. Yeah.
Because Spotify is her go-to.
Yeah. So
So
let me say something about that. I am an advocate for uh, drumming the interest back to local radio. The reason being is because, we all listen to maybe XM radio, we listen to our streaming playlist, and those are great outlets because you get to hear your favorite music, whenever you want to hear it, if you're streaming or on XM, they play a lot of a wide variety of music, whatever's your favorite. but those platforms will not talk about what's going on in your local community. Um, I love the Kirk Franklin channel on XM, but Kirk Franklin's not concerned about what's going on in the CSRA in the Aiken Augusta area. Who's running for office, what's happening in changes in the Aiken, political arena, who's doing great, in the area. So that's why I really strongly advise even young people to pay attention and listen to local programming because it's really important.
Yeah, and that is one of the things I think that technology now does allow us to sort of close ourselves off from information that we would otherwise get if we were listening to traditional radio. Because I mean, even if you're listening to say the Ricky Smiley morning show or something like that, Ricky's going to start talking about current events as part of his show. Whereas if you're just listening to Spotify, you can do music 24/7 if you want
Right,
to.
right,
So,
right.
so yeah, there is a certain advantage to what you get from actually listening to radio. So, as you can talk about your future and some of the ventures that you're currently involved in, you want to describe one of the things that you're doing right now?
Yes, yes. Well, last year, unfortunately, Shout 94.7 closed its doors for the gospel portion. It was purchased, and the new owners changed the platform to sports. So, congratulations to them. But I did feel that there was a need for a continued local programming presence for gospel music that really reached out to local community church-based organizations, charities, and that forth that 94.7 really did a great job at upholding. First, let me say I love all the stations in the area. I listen to them all. Much respect to each one of them. But I just felt the need and the desire to, branch out and do something that God had spoke to me about many, many years ago. It's funny when God shares something with you, but when you have a comfortable base until that comfortable base is moved, and you're forced into acting out on what he showed you, that a lot of times we then move. So that's what happened. I was comfortable at WAW, but he already showed me what I was supposed to do. And so I was able this year to do a lot of research and launch my own internet radio station locally, which is entitled WCSE Radio. CSE stands for Christian Sounds Entertainment. It's Christian Sounds Media. That's my company where we do a lot of information. We could talk about that on another time. But yes, Christian Sounds Radio, where we play a lot of great gospel music. But my programming, eventually, I want to be able to stream as well as future endeavors of having the radio station aired on FM to be able to be that voice for the local CSRA community, to allow a younger audience to be able to have shows where they can share their feelings about what's going on in the area or what's going on in the national political or scene or anything like that. So that's the direction that we're growing. And God is blessed. We started in January and we are already streaming on Roku, on Fire TV, and Amazon TV. And we're having our apps prepared now, so you'll be able to listen to it on the apps. And the website as well is up and running. You can stream it on the website. And we've had a very, very good amount of people supporting the station, listeners. And because we are streaming, not only can people listen to us locally, but we've had listeners all across the world. So we're excited about that.
What is streaming radio? Can you just define that for us?
Sure, sure. Anything that you listen to on the internet is streaming. There's even portions of terrestrial radio, which is your brick and mortar stations. They have a streaming portion because I know at 94.7 you were able to stream us on your phone. So anything that's able to take the internet link and disperse it on your iPhone, Android, or your laptop, or your handheld device, or on televisions like Roku, smart TVs. That's what streaming is.
Does that mean that I'm going to go to my computer and type in a web address to listen to it?
It depends. You can go to, for instance, in my station, you can go to wcseradio.org and you can type in the website and you can listen directly from the website 24 hours a day. But then there's opportunities for you to go to, like I said, your smart television, just like you would download Netflix or Hulu, you can download WCSE Radio and you can listen to it. And that's streaming as well. So streaming is anything that's listened to on your mobile devices, anything that's not transmitted across an FM or AM frequency.
So when you said like Netflix or Hulu, of course, I'm paying for a Netflix subscription that I never watch. It's for my kids. But that's the two questions that leads me to two questions. One is I'm paying for that. Do you pay for WCSE?
Nope, it's free 99.
Okay.
Free 99. You don't have to pay for anything. You just log on and listen and enjoy.
So it's streaming like Netflix, and I gotta download it like Netflix, but unlike Netflix, it's free, like
Exactly.
any other radio station. Okay. Okay.
It's always going to be free.
Okay. All right. I just want to make that distinction. And you do Christian music. Is
Yes.
that that's your niche? Do you do anything else?
I do, but let me say on the station we do predominantly gospel, but we also have some jazz on the evenings, and we also do R&B, but it's clean R&B, old school R&B, inspirational R&B, anything that's positive, we play that. So yeah, that's the vision that God gave me for WCSE. So I could not deviate from the vision that He gave me so many years ago. But yes, it is a gospel station. But again, my passion is to eventually have programming on the station, whether it be news or informational programming or whatever, to really share and shine the light on the CSRA because it's streaming. The great thing about it is people can in Florida can find out what's going on in Augusta, Georgia, what's going on in Aiken, what's going on in Johnston, what's going on in Evans. So that's why I'm really excited about the platform.
Of course, the music is universal. If you like jazz and as you say, clean R&B, you
Yeah.
mentioned old school. I'm curious, how far old school do you go?
Um, I can go way back to the 50s because my parents really well versed me in music, but we go into about the 70s, 80s, 90s.
It sounds like my kind of music. It sounds like so you got some clean R&B, you got some jazz, and you have gospel music there. So it's a mix.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you're in Florida or California, whatever, if you like that type of music, that's something to tune into to pay attention to, basically. Okay. All right. Is there any misconception? I'll talk about some of the misconceptions with podcasting, and then you can tell me if there are any similar misconceptions with streaming radio. But with podcasting, people will ask me questions like, but what time does it come on? And I'm like, there is no time. It's whenever you want to listen to it. That
Right.
on demand that we discussed earlier, but that has been, frankly, one of the hurdles I will say that I have experienced is that people just don't quite get the concept, particularly older listeners who just aren't familiar with the term. You mentioned Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, whatever. They're like, what's that? So I've spent a good bit of time trying to explain that. I'll be talking to somebody and they'll ask me about it. I said, let me hold your phone. Let me show you how to get to it. Um, do you have similar sorts of misconceptions streaming radio?
Oh, definitely. My father, who is 89 years old, he's a big supporter of what I do, but he has not heard me on this radio station because he doesn't stream. He doesn't have smart TV. He doesn't have internet. He comes from a different generation, and
Mhm.
a lot of times our older generation unfortunately, aren't able to keep up with the technology because it's changing so fast. And that's one of the things my heart goes out to our seniors, because just about time they get used to doing one thing, then it's something else. So I don't have a lot of senior audiences listening. Um, but I have focused my demographics on a specific age group, and that is anywhere from 25 to 55 years old, where we can really try to help direct them and into what we're trying to do. So I would always recommend and advise you to have a certain demographics age group if you're looking to
Mhm.
create a podcast or create a radio show, where that those people will be able to kind of be tech savvy and understand the dynamics of trying to download or stream this show.
Thank you for that. We've got just a few minutes left for this episode. Is there anything else that you want to share with our Local Matters family?
Well, first, let me say, Ms. Janice, thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so excited for you and what you're doing in your podcast, sharing this information, cross section of guests with the CSRA. Just support the station, WCSE.org. We're streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can listen to it anywhere. If you want to be in the gym, you can listen to it. In your office, you can listen to it. If you happen to have a smart TV in your office or your place of business, you can pull up WCSC and let that be the background music for what you do throughout the day. And just continue to support what we're doing. And our overall brand, Christian Sounds Entertainment, we have a great platform where we do a lot of education for young people who want to get into podcasting and filming and production and videography and photography.
Can you go into a little bit more detail about those things?
Sure. We have a wonderful location on Walton Way, 2054 Walton Way. Our office is the spot on Walton, and it's actually a multi-purpose center where you can have events. It's a small, intimate event space where you can have up to maybe 25, 30 people here for a particular event. Or if you would like to podcast, we have 3 dedicated podcast rooms where you can, I'm in one of them right now, where you can podcast. You can rent the space, or you can rent the space in our team to produce your podcast. And we're working on a recording studio where if you want to come in and record music, you can do that. We have a recording studio now where you can do productions for radio commercials and things of that nature. So it's going to be a one-stop shop basically for everything, but we're really excited about the event space. Our first event to kick off the spot on Walton is going to be on August 24th at 8 p.m. We'll have a local talent. Her name is Javonda Patrice. She's an amazing vocalist, lyricist. She sings anything. I mean, she could sing gospel. She sings R&B. She sings neo soul. That night, she'll be doing old school classics and neo soul. She might throw some gospel in. And
Okay.
man, it's just gonna have a good time. It's $15 to come for the night. Seating is limited, so you want to make sure you get your seat now. But man, we're gonna have a great time. It's gonna be the first of many events that we have here. So if you're looking to host an event here, just hit us up. We really would appreciate that. We're excited, and just become a supporter and just watch us unfold as we move into different genres of WCSE.
So much. So nice making your acquaintance. Thanks for being a guest on Local Matters.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.